Indeed. Yes, indeed. Hello, hello, hello. Come on in and sit on down tonight. How's everybody this evening? It is your guy, Mark My Words, aka Coach Mark. We're going to come on here and get to for a few minutes tonight. All right. So, this is Masculine Love Talk on Wednesday. So, we come on every Wednesday at 8 and we have a little Masculine Love Talk. That just means we're masculine men that deal with masculinity all day, and we also need time to talk about our relationships. All right, so that's what we're going to do on Wednesday night. So if it is your first time here on this channel, please understand that we talk about relationships. Sometimes we talk about masculinity. We also talk about fatherhood, health and fitness, and financial things as well. Also honesty, integrity, spirituality, things of that nature. All right, so if you like any of the things that go on this page or on the live, please hit the like button and hit the subscribe button as well. All right, that lets me know that you kind of like what's going on here and that I'm doing the right content for the right reasons. All right, so and also I need you to share the post. Okay, when you share the videos, when you share a post, when you share a live, that gives another person a chance to get the same information you're getting and get different information, because a lot of times you will get things from a post or a video or a short, and they will get totally different information from that short or video. Okay, so I always want you to share, and that's just not on my page, that's on anybody else's page that you frequent. Okay, share the information, let other people know that, number one, that you care about them and that you want them to get the same type of information that you're getting, bro. Because if you're watching things that are worthwhile, they're worth sharing as well. All right, so these questions in these situations come from people who email me at coachmark22@gmail.com. That is coachmark22@gmail.com. That is where you can send in an email and say, hey, Mark, I got this situation going on. Can you give me some advice on it, please? What I will most likely do is, of course, I'm going to keep you anonymous, never say a name or a place, but I will include you in one of these nightly Q&As that we have Monday through Thursday at 8 p.m. I will include your question or your situation on the live Q&A so I can give you advice, but then also, too, the people watching can give you advice as well. So when they come in the chat, I always ask them to comment and give you advice, because obviously you get my point of view, but then you also get different point of views as well. All right, and that's very valuable. So if you are just watching, if you just like to tune in, please put some comments, some questions in the chat if you'd like to, because people like to know that they're not alone. So it helps sometimes to say, hey, bro, I feel for you. I've been through that before. Or you're not the only one. I used to go through that. You know what I mean? That helps people who are watching. Sometimes people send in the questions and they watch it live as well. All right. So got a couple questions tonight. Normally we stay on for about 30, 35, 40 minutes. And we just do Q&A, bro. That means question and answer, question and advice. Okay. So if you have some advice, if you have an answer, if you have something to add to the situation, please put your comments in the comment section. All right. Make sure to email me at coachmark22@gmail.com if you have a question, situation, or just something that you are suggesting for something to add to the Q&As. All right. They're all welcome. Now, first, we're going to get into it. Says, Coach, I've always been taught to keep my feelings to myself, especially as a man. But lately, I've been feeling like I need to share more with my partner. The problem is I don't want to seem weak or overly emotional. What's the right way for a man to express his emotions in a relationship? Boy, oh boy, the word emotions pops up again. That word seems to always pop up, man. But as men, we need to be talking about our emotions. Okay, we don't need to hide them all the time, especially from each other. Okay, so the word emotions is a good thing as long as it's used in the right context and as long as we know when and where to channel them. So my first bit of advice is always to know the time and place that you're sharing your emotions, right? Or that you're expressing your emotions. There is a time and a place. Okay, so one of the things I do as a father, right? Just for an example, my son has a game. I do not talk to him about his game right after the game. Okay, so if he played a game at 5 o'clock, I'm not talking to him until tomorrow at about 5 o'clock. I'm going to let 24 hours go by to let the emotions die down, right? His emotions are high. Mine might be high. We might say some things that neither of us really mean. So it's best to just wait 24 hours. That means there's a time and a place, okay, to express the emotions. Now, You said you were always taught to keep your emotions to yourself as a man. That's a battle we all have, because a lot of men were taught to keep their emotions to themselves. Okay. Now, I believe in that to a degree, meaning everybody doesn't need to know how you feel. Everybody does not need to know how you feel, but you do need a person or two that you can express your feelings to. And that person cannot be the person who looks at you as their solid rock. Okay. So if that person looks at you like the strong person in your relationship or your friendship, or you're the boss at work, they can't be the people that you express your feelings to, bro, when you're feeling depressed or down or sad or overwhelmed. Okay. But you do need a person or two that you can express your feelings to. So I do believe that we have to hold them in check and not let every decision we make be emotional. We should be able to express our emotions at times. Also, I will just keep it real with you. We always scoff at like writing in a journal, man, or self-talk. And people used to clown people and you say, oh, he always talks to himself. Well, how is you supposed to get out your emotions? What's wrong with taking a walk and talking to yourself? What's wrong with writing in a journal, bro? What's wrong with using a voice recorder on your phone and just talking into your phone and then going back and listening to it maybe 2 or 3 days later, maybe a week later, and try to process the information, right? You do need an outlet. You do need an outlet, okay? But I do agree that there's a time and a place for it. So you said that you feel like you should be able to share more with your partner, but you don't want to seem weak, okay? Now, let me tell you something, man. I'm going to tell you the truth. If you're with the right partner, okay, they will judge you off your actions. And if your actions are that of a strong masculine man, you saying that you're depressed today, or saying you're a little sad, or saying that you're upset with work, will not have them looking at you as weak, because they will be judging you off of your actions every day. The fact that you get up every day on time, the fact that you walk the dog, you take the kids to the bus stop, you go to work, you deal with some harsh conditions, you never complain about it for real, you work overtime, you take your whole paycheck and you put it towards the bills. That is a masculine man, sir. That's a man with strength. So just you saying, you know what, I'm a little sad and I miss my friend. You know what, man, I feel some type of way, I can't talk to my dad anymore. If you have the right partner, sir, that will not make them look at you as weak. To me, women look at a man as weak when he does not perform. When he does not perform. And again, that's just perform your duties. Whatever duties it is that I'm cutting the grass today. But if you cut the grass halfway, bro, and then you come inside and say it's too hot, that's when you're looked at as weak. You know what I mean? Because you said you were going to do something and you ain't do it. So I don't think that you will be looked at as weak just for saying, I feel a little down today. I'm a little tired. I feel a little withdrawn, right? You should be able to express that to a partner. And I firmly believe, bro, why would you be with someone that you can't express yourself to? That means you picked the wrong person. And we got to stop blaming the partners when we pick them. You agreed to be in this relationship, sir. So if you're just wondering if you're going to seem weak, I think that you should be basing it off your movements. And bro, if you have to make a list of everything that you do on a day-to-day basis, make your list for yourself. Because we sometimes forget because we're on autopilot. But bro, you drive 30 minutes to work. You get there on time every day. You follow the rules at work. You get a nice paycheck. You have benefits. You pay bills at home. You take care of your home. You get up on the roof if there's a leak. You put the car up. You put the car up and change oil sometimes. Huh? Bro, your actions show whether or not you're weak. Okay? So just expressing yourself and saying, hey, I feel some type of way. Hey, I don't like this. Hey, I don't like that. That's not saying that you're weak, bro. And that person should not look at you as weak just for expressing that. And if this person actually pays attention to you, fam, they're going to know when you're down. They're going to know when you're exhausted. They're going to know when you miss someone. And they're going to appreciate the fact that you expressed it and try to help you get through the situation. So I would say go ahead and express your emotions. But if you're always talking, I'm tired. If you're always talking, I'm exhausted. If you're always talking about, I don't want to go to work, then bro, I guarantee there's some things you need to be doing as a man, as a masculine man, to channel some more of that energy, to get your energy up, to start feeling a little better about yourself. Now, this isn't what you asked me, but we always just talk about working out and meditating and having time to ourselves and, praying, like all these type of things that can help you with all those feelings. You understand what I mean? But anyways, very important question. I'm glad you said that. Bro, emotions are not a bad thing. We all have them. But as a man, bro, we can't make all of our decisions based on how we feel. We cannot. We'll never live in a world where that's okay. Okay. But if we have a nice outlet to express them, you won't have to make choices based off your feelings, because you will have been able to process them. And hopefully you do it daily so that your emotions never bottle up, that they never fill up and you bust. You know what I mean? So very important question, man. I'm glad you brought that up. So if you have something like that you want to discuss with me, or that you want to include in a Q&A, please do so. Email me at coachmark22@gmail.com. That is Coach Mark with a C, 22@gmail.com. All right. Next one. Hey coach, I've been with someone I still care deeply about, but lately I've been growing in ways that make me feel like we're no longer aligned. He hasn't done anything wrong, but we're just not walking the same path anymore. Is it okay to outgrow someone even if there's still love between us? Okay. So I would imagine that this is a female that wrote this in, which is fine. Just know, ladies, anytime you write in, I'm always going to come from a male standpoint and try to give you some answers about men and how we deal with things and what we do and what we like and what we don't like. Right. So it says that she's with someone she cares deeply about, but she feels like she's growing in ways that's making her outgrow the situation. Okay. Now, that happens a lot. That happens a lot with people. Okay. Now, some people will tell you, oh, that's going to happen in every marriage. You're going to grow apart. It doesn't happen in every marriage. It does not happen in every relationship. Okay. But if you are growing, right? And that's a great word to use. If you are growing, just like a tree, if a tree is growing up and another tree is not growing, eventually they will not be aligned. Their leaves will not be touching each other. They will not be at the same height. They will not get the same sun exposure, right? They will not retain the same amount of rainwater. It won't happen. So if you are growing and you're doing it in a positive manner, and that person is not growing in a positive manner, you are going to outgrow him. You are going to outgrow him. Because I have men that I work with that say they're outgrowing their lady. And it's the same conversation. It doesn't matter the gender, right? And I say keep growing. And if that person is not willing to grow with you, or not willing to just grow in their own direction, right? Then eventually you're not going to be able to be with them, because you're not going to be in a healthy relationship with somebody you're not aligned with. So what I would say is this though, right? And you did ask, is it okay to outgrow someone and still have love for them? Listen, this notion that you're not supposed to have love for your past partners is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Some people were with people for a decade, 2 years removed, and they're in a new relationship and they're not supposed to love that person anymore. Yeah, it's okay to have love for them. I have love for people I don't even talk to anymore. I have love for them. That doesn't mean I want to be around them now. And I outgrew them. It's okay. All right. But this is what I will ask you to do. Because so many times guys get on autopilot. I just talked about that with the last situation. We'll get on autopilot. We get up, we go to work every day. We get off. We may go to the gym. We may not. We may hang out at the sports bar, play pool. We may not. We may come home, do yard work. We may not. We watch our sports. We get up, we go do it again. Okay. So a lot of times we're because we feel like we're taking care of what we're supposed to take care of, especially financially. And that's why I always talk to my men about, being not so much flexible, but what am I trying to say here? I'm getting tongue tied. You have to be multifaceted, right? It can't just be that you make good money, because that is awesome, bro. You have some great material things. But bro, if you don't self-improve and you're talking about the same things you were talking about 10 years ago, you're not elevating. If you don't have a good spiritual base, if you're dishonest, if your health and wellness is in the gutter, bro, money doesn't help any of that. So what'll happen is though, because society tells us that all we need to do is provide and we'll be treated like a king. That's what we focus on. And so you may have the guy who says, hey, I make good money at my job. I've been there for years. I take care of the bills. I ain't got to do nothing else. I'm straight. But meanwhile, you're elevating in some other areas and you're starting to outgrow him. But what I would say is this: you talk to him and you look him dead in his face and say, sweetheart, I'm growing in a lot of different ways and I feel like you're not. And I'm scared that we will not be aligned and that we will grow apart. And I don't want that to happen. So then you have to get specific and talk about the areas you're growing in and give him some suggestions for some areas that he can grow in as well, so that you guys can be aligned. Now, he's either going to take it as constructive criticism and do something about it, or he's going to get defensive. And he's not going to do anything about it. And I think you'll have your answer. And sweetheart, I will never, ever, ever tell the person to stay in a relationship where they cannot grow. You can't do that. You cannot. And no man or woman is worth that. And you got a long life to live. Most likely you might be 40 years old, 50. You got 50 more years to live. Would you look like stunting your growth for somebody who doesn't want to grow, who doesn't want to elevate? Harsh reality is some people get to 30, 35, man, and they never change. They never change. They never get any better. And if that's the case here, you got to do what you got to do. But I would definitely sit down and have a conversation first. And you must express how much this elevation has helped you, right? And how much you want elevation to help him, and how much you want you guys to grow together. You understand? If he loves you enough, honey, he's not gonna say no to that. You know what I mean? So, very important question. And the reason why it's important for us to have these conversations is people forget how to communicate, and they also think that their partner knows exactly what they're thinking all the time or exactly what's going on. Oh, he knows that I work out all the time and I want him to work out. Yeah, you might have said it a long time ago, sis, but if you ain't said it in 6 months, maybe he forgot. Or maybe he just thought it wasn't that important because, once again, he was focused on other things that he's trying to do as a man. So very important to bring these things up. And these are very good discussions that men and women need to have. All right. So I appreciate you for that. Now, if you have something like that, a situation, a question, a comment, or a story for me, please email me at coachmark22@gmail.com. Now, I got another one. Says, hey, coach, women always say they want honesty, but when I tell the truth, even in a respectful way, it sometimes causes drama. It makes me wonder if they really want honesty or just comfort. How do I stay honest without feeling punished for it? Oh, boy. That is a good one, brother. All right. Very important one, too. So you will often hear me talk about honesty. Okay. Honesty is learned. It's a learned behavior. Okay. I believe it's a learned behavior. And we have to be taught as young men how to be honest, and be honest all the time, even when that means we're going to get in trouble, even when that means we're going to hear something negative back from the other person. Okay. So if you were someone that was brought up to be honest, like I try to raise my boys to be honest, you can sometimes be too honest. You can become too blunt. You can become a person that does not take other people's feelings into consideration. So if you are telling the truth about things that a woman does not want to hear about herself, okay? Like, that dress does make you look fat. I really don't like your hairstyle, but whatever, we're here anyway. I really don't like your mom, but I'll keep going over there because she can cook. I understand that you're trying to be honest, sir, but some things, okay, we can leave unsaid. You know how they say some things are better left unsaid. Because let's just say you do like her mom's cooking and you're going to keep going over there, but you don't like her mom. Bro, you're going to keep going over there. So why does anyone need to know that you don't like her mom? What good is that doing anyone? She looks fat in that dress, bro. Hey, guess what? She looks fat in everything because she is. But I don't know that you telling her that she looks fat is helping her. You understand? So when it comes to honesty, first of all, bro, we need to focus on being honest about ourselves and our own actions. Number one, being honest to yourself. But number two, being honest with other people about things you like, don't like, if they affect you. So you telling someone that they stink, right? It probably doesn't affect you that much. And you could probably keep that to yourself. Now, do you want to get in the shower or the bed with them? Probably not. But most people, you're not going to do that with anyway. Okay. So there are a lot of things that we're honest about with other people that don't help them at all. So I'm cool with you being honest about yourself and things that you do. But limit the honesty when it comes to other people, unless they are pulling it out of you like, I need you to tell me one way or the other. But most of the time, bro, if you're talking about dating other women or dating women, most of the time, there are things that you can keep to yourself because they're not really going to help that female. Okay. Now, if you were talking about honesty as far as who you're dating or what you're doing, I say be 110% honest. Okay. Now, do they want comfort? Absolutely, brother. They want the Lifetime movie all day, every day. They want to hear what is going to make them happy. But we do have a duty to let them know what's going on to make sure that they don't go down a rabbit hole that they don't want to be in. You understand? So if you are, let's just say you're dating two other people other than her, and you haven't really decided who you're going to settle down with, it's okay to say that. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that. She's not going to like it. If she likes you, she's not going to like it. But it is the truth. And bro, every time you lie, you tell two lies, because you lie to yourself and you lie to the person that you're telling it to. So one of the biggest parts of being masculine, bro, is being an honest individual as much as humanly possible. But it starts with you and about you. And so I would keep the honesty to a minimum when it comes to her and the things that she has going on, unless it can help her right then and there by finding out the truth. If it cannot, let's decide whether or not we need to keep it to ourselves. But as far as being honest about what you are doing, about your intentions, about your future plans, I say be honest, bro. And you can't really worry about her comfort when it comes to that. Okay? A good man is an honest man, bro. And an honest man most likely is trying to be a good man. And that's what we're trying to do. Okay. And I urge a lot of you guys, man, to move toward that as much as possible. As much as possible. We ain't asking for perfection, bro. But I think we get into these situations with the intention on being dishonest. And we starting out on a bad foot. And we don't have to. We don't have to, bro. There's probably 2 billion adult women in the world. 2 billion. I think you can find one or two that's okay with knowing the truth about whatever it is that you got going on and accept you for that and love you for that. You understand? It is what it is. So if you have a situation like that, please email me at coachmark22@gmail.com. Also, you will find down in the description, there's a link to book a consultation call with me. If you are a person that needs some one-on-one coaching, if you are a person that needs someone to help you plan out the next couple months of your life so you can get it together. Maybe you have some vices you're trying to kick. Maybe you're trying to get in shape. Maybe you're having trouble with your spirituality. Maybe you are having trouble as a father, a stepfather, a new father, whatever it might be. Go down to the description, book a call with me, bro. We'll get on the line. We will see if we need to establish a relationship or if I'm a right fit for you and if you're a good fit for me. And maybe I can help you get to the next phase of your life. We're flying colors, dog. All right. So next, 46, divorced, and just started dating again after a long break. Women tell me that I'm a great guy, but they also say I seem guarded. How do I open up without feeling like I'm at risk for getting hurt all over again? Now, brother, I'm assuming that you got hurt in your divorce. Okay. So, and brother, divorce is tough. It's funny because on the male side of things, we always talk about the material things that a man loses in divorce. Rarely do we ever talk about the fact that he lost his partner. So imagine you being the guy who not only lost your partner, But maybe you didn't want the divorce. Maybe she wanted it. And then you had to give up a bunch of your material possessions. And now you have to pay child support and alimony. Huh? And for a lot of you guys that's getting divorced, this is your first time having to pay somebody you're not with anymore. That's hard to wrap your head around. So if you're already heartbroken, you've gotten very used to being with her, and you just feel some type of way, it could be a tough process. So bro, I feel for you. And that's why we men got to get together more and talk about things like this, because nobody looks at the guy who got divorced and worries and thinks about his feelings. We always look at it like, oh, he's divorced, he's single, he got it made now. Man, you 46, you might have been married since you was 21. You're used to having a family at your house. And I could tell you from being in a situation or two like this, bro, it gets lonely because you're used to having people around. You're used to having your kids with you every day. So if nothing else, your kids were in your house every day. Now they're not. You understand? That's a tough adjustment. So I feel for you in that regard. Now, you said you start dating, which is good. And let's be clear about something, bro. You are a much better man if you're in a relationship. You cannot get in relationships if you do not date. So don't ever think that you should go this super long period of time without dating and being around women. I don't agree with that. Okay. Now, if you need to focus on some other things, your health, your finances, getting your career back on track, maybe starting a passion project, I get it. But bro, you need to make time to be around the opposite sex because they make you feel good. It's a release. It's a stress reliever, bro. You need somebody to smile. You need to know that somebody loves you. You went from having someone in your house every day to now no one's there. So not dating is not good in my eyes. Okay. So you do need to be dating, but you talked about not wanting to seem so guarded, but you don't want to get hurt again. Let me help you with something. There are no guarantees in relationship, family. There are no guarantees in relationship. I'm in one. And that person could leave me tomorrow. Tonight. Tonight, dog. Like literally. Hey, fam, I'm out. Ain't nothing I could do. So you never 100% secure that you're not going to get hurt. Bro, that's like saying, oh, I ain't going to drive to work because I could get in an accident. I'm not going to go play basketball because I could tear my Achilles. I'm not going to go play golf with my friends because I might throw out my shoulder. Bro, there's always a chance you're going to get hurt. But it's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. What are you going to do you're 46? You might got 50 some more years on the earth, bro. So no matter when you get back in the saddle and open up to a feet, bro, you're not sure that they're not going to hurt you. Now, I will say this, selection is important. So you make sure you're selecting correctly. Okay. Let's make sure that we're selecting correctly. But normally, when we're on our job as a man, when we are following our mission and purpose, when our health is intact, when our spirituality is there, when we're concentrating on being a good father, when we're self-educating, when we're volunteering, when we're honest and we have some type of integrity, normally we align with a different type of female. And so it's a lot easier to pick females who have the same core values we have. But if we're just dating whoever, if we're gambling all the time, if we're drinking, if we're staying out too late, we're not getting sleep, we're not taking care of our health, we're not praying, if we're not being a good steward of our finances, bro, yeah, we can end up with some bad folks in our lives. So I say, date often, brother. Date often. And I don't know about the guarded part, man. You got to have boundaries and stuff. You got to have boundaries, but you should have boundaries for everybody. There should be a certain time that you're not accepting calls at night. There should be certain places you're not going just because you don't need to go there. This shouldn't have anything to do with a female. It should be a lot of things you're not doing. You should have boundaries for your life because you want better, right? So if you have those boundaries and whatnot for your life, bro, you don't have to be guarded because the women who want to be around you and are okay being inside of your frame, inside of your program, I don't think those are the ones you need to worry about, just to be honest with you. But to say that you never gonna get hurt again, or you're never going, hey, bro, it just go down like that sometimes. There's no foolproof plan that you might be able to put in place to keep yourself from ever getting hurt again. I don't think that's possible. All right. I wish it was something we could do, but probably not. All right. But very important situation, man. And I'm very glad you brought that up. A lot of middle-aged guys are going through the same type situation. And um, it's tough, bro. If you haven't dated in years, it's tough. Most of you guys haven't dated in your 40s. If you're just now getting divorced in your 40s or 50s, you didn't have to date since you were like in your 20s. Times are different, man. So things are much different. So that was a very important one, man. Good stuff. Um, if you have something like him, if you have something like he did, a submission or a question, please email me, coachmark22 at gmail.com. All right. Now, for the last one of the evening, I've been married for 18 years. And lately it feels like my wife and I are just roommates. We don't argue much, but we also don't connect like we used to. How can a man bring passion and closeness back into a long-term marriage? Oh boy. The long-term marriage that has gone stale. Okay. Well, we talked about this a little bit earlier about people growing apart. Normally that seems to happen if one person is growing and the other person is not. Because if both of you were still at the same place that you were when you got married, you probably still be cool. But it looks like one of you has elevated and the other one has not. Okay? So that's first off. You said y'all been married for 18 years. That is a long time. But I think it's funny that when we look at relationships, 5 years, 9 years, 12 years, such a long time. But you've been friends with your homie since the 3rd grade. You've been cousins with your cousin since you were born. You have a lot of relationships that have been way longer than 18 years, bro. Way longer. And you don't seem to have a problem with those. The main reason is because we continue to show respect to that person. And we continue to treat that person as good as we can, as much as we can. And we do exactly what we used to do in the beginning. Oh, me and my man, we always watch the NFL ticket together every Sunday, every season, never fails. But you don't do that with your wife, bro. Most of us, we get lazy. We don't do that with our wife. We don't do all the things we were doing 5 years ago or 10 years ago or when we first met. And I understand that's tough. I understand it's tough. You get used to somebody, you're like, I ain't got to get her flowers all the time. Why I got to get her flowers? She know I love her. We used to get it. Bro, you can't go from getting her flowers every 2 weeks to now it's never. It's like not even once a year. You used to shower her with gifts on her birthday. Now you just say happy birthday and give her $500. Y'all used to take trips and you would turn your phone off and it would be all about her and you would hold her hand the whole time and you guys would slow dance and watch the sun come up. When's the last time you did that? Bro, my advice to any person, forget about man, any man, woman, child who feels like their relationship is getting stale and they want to put the spark back in, just start doing what you used to do in the beginning. That's it. Now, are they going to be responsive to it? I don't know. I can't tell you for sure. But most of the time, we can write down a bunch of things that we used to do in the beginning that we no longer do. And that might just be talking on the phone. A lot of y'all live with a woman, don't never talk to her on the phone. Every time she call you, you act like she bugging you. What you want, yo? But before you used to sit on the phone with her for 3 hours, bro. Huh? You should just take a walk with her and hold her hand and y'all just sit on the park bench and just be talking. I mean, listen, can you expect the spark to be there and you don't never flick the lighter? Huh? You got to start doing things that you've been doing in the beginning. Because I guarantee you could probably come up with a bunch of things that you have not been doing that you used to do. And it could be in it. Hey, from what I hear from these ladies, homie, it might be a lot of stuff that you just got lazy with around the house. You used to wash the dishes when you was done eating. Huh? You used to take the trash out every day. Not when the trash got full, but every day. You used to put gas in her car. Now you don't. You used to make sure you cut the grass and one blade of the grass got too high. You was out there again, even if it was 2 days later. Now you let it go for a week and a half. So when she pulling up to the crib, she see high grass. Huh? You used to tell her she looked beautiful. Now I understand she might have changed a little bit, but you still with her. So goddamn it, sometimes you gotta tell her she look good. But if you haven't been doing these things, bro, and that's what she got to cut, that's the dude she fell in love with. That's the dude she fell in love with, homie. That's the dude she couldn't keep her hands off. And since we're gonna take it there, let's take it a step further. Do you look like you used to? Do you take care of yourself like you used to? Do you spend as much time outside as you used to? Do you drink as much water as you used to? Do you get as much sleep as you used to? Do you take your time in the bedroom like you used to? Some of y'all used to put it down for 90 minutes. Now she get 9 minutes. How? Come on, man. Most of the time we can look inward, okay? We can look inward in these situations and figure out a lot of things that we're not doing that we should be. And if we are doing these things, most likely we see a spark again. It's like taking care of a vehicle, fam. You first get that vehicle, you taking it in for routine maintenance. You being careful, you washing it all the time. You keeping it filled up with gas. You keep the oil changes up to date. Then as the car get older, we get a little bit lazy. Oh yeah, the check engine light on, but I ain't worried about that, Mark. That check engine light been on for 3 years. Man, that tire always get low. I ain't worried about that, man. I'll be cool. But if you take care of the vehicle the same way you did when it was new, huh? You ever seen a vehicle? You ever get a used vehicle and somebody done took care of it, man, the same way from mile 1 to mile 100,000? It stayed running. But that's what your relationship normally does. It stays running if you take care of it. It stays running if you keep doing the things that you were doing in the beginning. So that would be the first place I would look. List of the things you used to do for you. And just put a check mark beside the things that you still do. And you most likely are going to have your answer as to why y'all just like roommates now. Huh? But do me a favor. Try it out for about 30 days. Huh? And then email me back. Email me back and just let me know. Either, hey, Mark, it didn't work. I started doing some of the things I was doing in the past and it still ain't work. Or you could tell me it did work. But I believe in you, homie, and I believe you're going to be truthful. You know what I'm saying? And that's a good listen. Again, these are the type of things that we need to talk about, bro. Because you could have kept it to yourself. You could have kept it to yourself and kept blaming her and kept being in denial and all types of things. And the next thing you know, you getting divorce papers, or you serving her with divorce papers, or one of y'all going outside the marriage. That don't help nobody. That helps nobody. Because guess what's going to happen? Y'all split up. She going to get with somebody new. And she gonna start doing all the things she used to do for you in the beginning, and then you gonna get with somebody else and start doing all the things you used to do for her in the beginning. Y'all could have just did that for y'all. Come on now. It's worth a try. Just look inward first. You know what I'm saying? Let's figure out what we need to do a little bit better. Most of the time, we got the power to change the situation, especially if it was good before. You understand? It always has a chance to get right again. All right. So good situation. I'm glad you wrote in with that. Now, I will remind you guys one more time that if you have a submission like that, if you have a question, if you have some type of situation and you want me to feature down the Q&A, please do so email me at coachmark22@gmail.com. That is coachmark with AC22@gmail.com. Now, I will remind you once again, you could have a situation like this guy and be going through some things in your marriage, right? And just need somebody to help you. Maybe, how about this? Just get back on all the stuff you're supposed to be doing for yourself and hoping that it can get you back in good graces with your lady or your partner, whoever that might be. And you need some one-on-one coaching. Like you need somebody to talk to twice a week or to help you with a plan to hold you accountable. You understand? If you are that guy, if you are that person, please go down in the description, book a call with me. We'll get on the line. We'll figure out if we could establish a relationship. All right. Maybe I can help you get to the next phase of your life. But no matter what it is, and I will be honest, guys, no matter what you're having issues with, we are notorious for not seeking help when we know there's a problem. Whether that be medically, whether that be mentally, whether that be physically, whether that be financially. We let our pride get in the way and we try to ignore things and hoping they'll just go away and get better. And that's normally not what happens. So reach out to whoever you need to reach out to get help in any area that you're struggling in, bro. Because normally if we struggle in one area, we're going to start struggling in others. Like if your foot hurts, your left foot hurts, and you're being ginger on that left foot, your right knee is going to start hurting eventually because you're favoring your left foot. Okay? That's just how it goes. Now, I really do appreciate you guys for tuning in with me tonight. Okay? It is always special to me when you spend your valuable time with me because my time is valuable as well. But we having necessary conversations, man, because we all need help. We all need an outlet and we all need to get better. The guy that you think is the best guy in the world, the richest man, the guy who has it all together, guess what? He also needs to get better. There's always ways we can get better, bro. Always ways we can get better. So that's the point of coming on here. That's the point of talking to you guys. That's the point of us posing these questions and giving advice. Okay. It's so that we can get a little tiny bit better every single day and that we can thrive, man. We need to thrive in every single part of our lives. That's it. And that's all. All right. So it is your guy. Once again, I will see you guys tomorrow evening. We will get into a little bit of health and wellness as we do on Thursdays. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, guys, we get into the health and wellness. Okay. It's very important for us. So we got to get into it. 8 p.m. Eastern time. So come on in and join me, man. Tell a friend and tell a friend. All right. It is your guy. Mark my words.